shift in e-commerce has driven the surge in delivery needs. And with that, I think it forces changes in your business. Clearly, you can see that many companies today, whether you're TNL, manufacturing, or retail, right? The respondents are telling us they don't think they have inventory accuracy is not enough to meet the rising challenge in e-commerce. So that's one area, they're very keen to look at how can they improve inventory accuracy. And in Zebra, one of the things that we have done for one of the retail customers, global retail customers, is to utilize technology like RFID and also camera technology to actually help them track the inventory in the stores and then automatically trigger a reordering when the inventory has reached a certain preset level. So those are the inventory accuracy that the customers are looking for. The on-demand economy has given rise to a customer expecting instant gratification, right? So you want things now. With the press of a button, they want it to be delivered. So companies are looking at different ways to address this fulfillment challenge, right? You can see the brick and mortar stores now turning their retail stores into fulfillment centers, right? And for the e-commerce, giants, you see them building more and more warehouses. So why are they doing that? I think the key really is to get closer to the customer. The key really is to improve their shipping and their fulfillment capability. So you see things like stores enabled to fulfill web orders. You see things like dedicated fulfillment centers, and you also see things like direct shipping from manufacturer to end users. Like your fulfillment model, getting closer to the customer, the speed for delivery, shortening the delivery windows. All these are driving logistics company to rethink how they do their business. Return is the biggest problem that logistics company today cannot figure out how to manage. A lot of activity now is happening at what we call the edge of the enterprise, the place where work is done. So innovation now needs to happen at the edge of the enterprise. And this is what we call systems of reality. How can you gain an edge over others? As we hear that the e-commerce now presents significant opportunity, getting an edge over others is critical, for you to be successful in your business.
Here at Blue Jay, we're very passionate about understanding everything that's going on. We've all done deliveries for our customers, during the Christmas peak. So we kind of understand not only what is happening as a consumer, but also how do our drivers and how do our customers actually respond to the pressures of last mile. We have a very broad portfolio of products that enable us to work with all different types of people in the supply chain. So that can be those that are delivering the logistics services, such as DHL, Australia Post, to those that are actually asking for those services and shipping the products. So we have products that range from transport management systems, mobility, WMS, and customs. But when we really look at what makes a good delivery or what makes a good pickup in both the B2C and B2B world, we're not talking about rocket science, right? We want visibility. We want to know where that delivery is at any point in the cycle, which is not unreasonable. We kind of want to know what time that it's turning up, and we're not being really unreasonable. We're not saying we need to always know to the minute. We just want to know to a couple of hours. So it's not overly difficult what we're asking. We want to be able to track it, so we want to be able to have the experience of seeing where it is, and we critically want a clear returns policy. One size does not fit all. I think from our perspective, having been in the game a long time, we still find it extraordinary that we know so much about our retailer, our consumer as retailers. We know the size, we know the day of their brother's birthday, we know everything about who they are, but we know nothing about them as a delivery address. And that's because we still treat delivery as an address as opposed to an individual. So why don't we know what day of the week they'll definitely be home? Why don't we know how they like to be delivered, how they like to be communicated with? What is the preference if they don't happen to be home? So as an industry, because we haven't quite determined who owns the customer, nobody's really collecting that key piece of information that lets us profile the delivery individual, the delivery address. So I think that, again, it's something we see in a market that we just haven't decided who has that final ownership, and we're not profiling them the same way that we would with retail. Again, as I've talked about before, let's look at rewarding our customers for good behaviour. And good behaviour means less returns, frequent delivery, always being home when you say you will, and actually responding with us. So we don't do enough of that. I mean, we'll talk about an example shortly, but there are some organisations that actually charge their customers $20 if they're not home for delivery. It's not a model I can see working in a lot of places, but again, it's something that says, hey, what are we doing around that process? And again, I think everyone in the room knows it's all about data, right? We have to get more information that makes sure that our processes are running better. And that means knowing down to the detail how customers and consumers are going to behave when it comes to delivery. It's the same on the B2B world, right? We need to know when that dock is available for delivery. We need to know all of those behaviours. So again, as we understand how our customers are shopping and the things that they buy together, we can actually bring that back into the delivery world and have a slightly different experience. The other thing I think which we also underestimate is how much data our drivers have on the market. So we're a firm believer as well that you need to capture local intelligence. When your driver goes to the same location every other day, they know something about that address that no one else can tell you. So how do you actually start capturing that and building that back into the profile of your addressing? So I always find it very interesting that you can go online, you know exactly when you're booking a flight, what seat you can book. If you don't book it, the price goes up, you know that it goes up, and you have this complete visibility of what you're trying to achieve. But in the delivery world, we're kind of just given a, hey, this is when it's going to happen. So we don't do enough of that forward planning within this industry. Our customers just want to know the cost, where it is, how they're going to return it, and they just want to be informed. So I think, again, as a market, we can do amazing things with technology, but we just need to get the fundamentals right, which is just being a little bit more aware of how we communicate, how we deal with failure, and just making sure everything is transparent. So here at Blue Jay, that's certainly what we try to get all our customers to do, and we're very passionate about it. We profile all of the markets, so anyone that wants to know a little bit about what's happening in different countries, do let us know.
That's important because of the fact that you wanted to have some expected rewards arising from the outcome of the R&D and technology investment, right? So it's a fine balance between the two. Ryan, would you speak to that as well?
So one of the things that we've done for a very large T&L company is to work with them to look at how can they improve their loading efficiency, right? Because as you heard, getting fulfillment is all about speed, right? So we put in place things like camera technology. We look at real-time location solution, and then this data is actually visible on the tablet. With that technology, you can actually see during the loading process, are the packages damaged in the process. Those are technology that we invest, and they are now going live in several dock doors, across North America, and we think that the several APAC T&L companies are very interested to see how they can optimize delivery through a combination of barcode scanning, camera technology, machine vision, etc. So those are the things that we're doing.
So as much as we spend a lot of money ourselves in R&D, and we see our customers doing the same, we still have so much of the market trying to get the fundamentals of delivery right. The fact that we're still just trying to move some goods from a couple of points and we're still not quite getting it right. You do traditionally have players who are just owning e-commerce or who are just owning the logistics piece. If we can create better collaboration there, and we can actually just look at what models actually make sense for us, we might get somewhere. But if you've got 10 different carriers working for you, even as a retailer, they're all working on 10 different systems. So how do we make sure that they're willing to share?